We are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Diane Rose Solomon, and I'm the founder of Animal Magic Films. And oops, put this up there. There we go. Thank you for joining us for our second interview in the Science and Magic of the Human-Animal Bond interview series. We will be exploring many of the ways that animals help people and people help animals. It's a both and conversation where we all benefit from this bond. And please welcome my guest today, Dr. Glenn Buckley. Welcome, Dr. Buckley. So nice to meet you.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you for having me on today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So Dr. Buckley is a veterinarian originally from Akron, New York, and he practiced emergency veterinary medicine for his entire career as he felt this is the way to truly use all of his training and help pets at critical times. Dr. Buckley owned 2 veterinary emergency hospitals in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for 15 years and worked with a number of rescue groups to provide care for the pets that they would take in. It was during this time that he began to really appreciate the role these groups play and the dedication they have. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Buckley. What inspired you to become a veterinarian, and then what inspired you to start Pet Rescue RX?
Oh, my inspiration to become a veterinarian it's probably a similar story to a lot of people who enter that career. It's something that just kind of grabs you at a young age. You have pets when you're growing up. Growing up, I had rabbits and geese and chickens and dogs and cats and wide variety of things, and you just develop an appreciation for them at a young age. And I think a lot of veterinarians start out with that, and it just becomes something that's a part of you. And if you pursue it on later in life to make it a career, it's very rewarding.
Wonderful. So then where was the transition from being a full-time veterinarian to starting Pet Rescue RX? And I'd love for you to tell everybody a little bit what Pet Rescue RX is and how you made that transition.
Sure. Yeah, as you said in the intro there, I spent my career doing emergency medicine because that's where I thought I could provide the most benefit to pet owners, and really, that's when you do emergency work, you're working with life and death situations almost on a nightly basis. And I thoroughly enjoyed that opportunity to do that and really use what I went to school for. But I had done it for 15 years and owned the 2 practices, and it's a wonderful career to be in when you're young. But then you reach a certain point in your life and you realize a lot of years have gone by, and you're not as young as you used to be. And I wanted to find something that kind of rekindled a passion in a way, and allowed me to do something that would keep me in the animal realm, and, as you know, with that bond that people and animals have. And the rescue groups that I worked with in Fort Lauderdale, and the dedication those people had, really inspired me to look at what was in front of me, the changes in the market for pet owners to buy pet medications, and how that could work to financially support the rescues and the shelters.
That's great. And so far, how many shelters and rescue groups have you worked with? And
Oh, well, right now with Pet Rescue RX, we've got probably a little over 800 groups signed up with us. And the nice thing about how we work is that our customers select which organization that they'd like to support when they make a purchase. So if they adopted from a local shelter or rescue and want to have their purchase, the profits from their purchases go to that particular organization, they choose that group at checkout. And there's no additional donations we ask from our customers or anything else. It's basically we sell our medications, and the profits that we make get donated back to those groups.
That's great. And I'm familiar with it because I've been a customer for a few months. And every time I make a purchase, which these days is frequent because I have two senior dogs, we, at the bottom, it's which shelter or rescue group would you like to send your proceeds to? You just tick a box and boom, it's done. And you guys do all the rest of it, which is
Yep.
really super easy and wonderful and
Yeah.
brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. It's we get so much positive feedback from our customers about what we're doing and what we're all about. And if anybody has never experienced using us before, and they can go to our website and see what we have to offer. What I strongly recommend people do is just read our Google. Oops.
Hold that thought. You're going
Yeah,
to have
it's okay.
to be quiet, mister. You're going to have to be quiet. Okay,
Yeah.
say that again.
Oh, no, I would strongly recommend if anyone out there watching has never used us, just Google Pet Rescue RX, read our Google reviews, read our Facebook reviews. Those are that's something I'm very proud of because the folks that we have here at Pet Rescue RX made that possible, and our reviews are outstanding, and our customers say a lot about us.
That's great. That's so cool. So now, how does your work help people?
Well, the whole connection that people have with their pets. When you think about the term human animal bond, that started to come around, maybe 10 years ago, that kind of that terminology came more commonly used. But the bond between people and animals has been going on for thousands of years, really. But
Yeah.
right now, especially with people are really more appreciating how valuable their pets are to them, and want to do the best that they can to take care of them, and looking to save some money on their pet medication so they can do that. And that's one of the reasons I felt Pet Rescue RX would be so successful, is because we can provide people the pet medications that they need at very good pricing, and do some good on the back end with donating the profits to the shelters and rescues. So the how it helps people is that it's a time saver for them because they can go online to our website and purchase their medications. They can get the products at good prices. They can get the things that they need for their pets, and give back to the local community.
That's
And
great.
so it's just a nice complete circle of the way I think things should be.
That's great. And my wheels are turning also as you're speaking. And then, of course, the people in the rescue groups are certainly grateful for the
Mhm.
additional, cash influx.
Yeah.
So, which brings me to my next question: how does it help animals? I mean, to me it's obvious, but
Mhm.
let's
Yeah.
talk
Well,
about it.
I will say, especially over the last 6-7 months now, with COVID as well, all the up here in New York, all the summer fundraising events for the shelters and rescues were canceled. It's nothing was going on. All the summer events where they'll have raffles and on the weekends and bring people together with their pets, and all these events to raise funds for the shelters. Nothing happened, and um, but they still need that money. They still have pets they need to take care of. They still have facilities that they have to maintain and upgrade, and that's one of the reasons I feel Pet Rescue Arcs can be so valuable in the future, is to provide a new avenue of revenue to these groups outside of the traditional events that they may have, whether it's because most of them are social events,
Mhm.
and you see right now social events are not really possible, but people still need to take care of their pets with the medications.
Yeah, yeah. And, both sides. People still need to take care of their pets with the medications, and the rescue groups still need the funding so that they can keep, serving the animals in their care and rescue more animals.
Hmm.
So it's like from both ends, the animals, need the help, and the people need the help, and
Yep.
so
Yep.
it's
And during the early stages of COVID, because it was bad up here in New York, I'm outside of Buffalo, and Erie County, the county we lived in, got hit pretty hard with the number of cases that we were experiencing, not nearly as significant as what was happening in New York City. But during that time, all the businesses were shut down, restaurants, everything closed right down. And so what we did here is that we had 2 weeks where we put it out to people that if they needed pet medications, we were selling our pet medications at cost, because we didn't want people to not be able to get the medications that they needed for their pet. And we thought if we offered them the savings during the early stages, and they could get what they need to tide them over for a period of time, that may be just enough to get us through this. And but who would have thought it was going to drag out as long as it has?
Oh my goodness, with no end in sight. But yeah, and yet people still need their medications and for their dogs and their cats, and it's tough. It's tough for people. And thank you for offering that, when you did, because I'm sure it did help a lot of people at the time. So
we got some tremendous feedback from customers regarding that. That they were very grateful.
Yeah, and that was also before like any of the initial stimulus stuff kicked in. So that's when people were like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah. When people were first getting laid off, and businesses were closing down for a period of time, I was very happy that we were able to do that for people.
Yeah. So how does your Pet Rescue RX and the work that you do help our connection to animals and to each other?
How does it help our connection? Our pets become such a, I know for mine, cats, dogs, they're more to me than just pets. They are my family. And you don't want to see them having illnesses, being sick, and we get this, and we hear it from our customers. They have a dog that may have heart disease and needs to be on medication, and they're on a limited income, and they come to us because we have the best pricing on a particular medication that they need, and they're so grateful for that because they love their pet. And by keeping them on their medication and keeping them healthy so they can both ride through this time, that's great, because people need that. They need that support that our pets can provide us. I think to myself, and remind myself to do this with my own pets, to take a few minutes and just stop and look at them and put your hands on them and try to feel them, feel their hair coat, feel the texture, remind yourself to remember that, look at the color of their eyes, remember the color of their eyes, all these things that, we may pet them and rub them, but take a few extra minutes and just just really be present with them in the moment, because they're not going to be with us forever. And you want to hang on to those memories of them being with you. And that's the bond, that's the bond that gets created. And like I was saying a moment ago, they're not going to be with us forever. So appreciate the time that you do have, and take that bit of extra time and just really love them a lot.
That's so beautiful. And because it is true that in our daily life, we can get into this very rote experience, especially in what I call real life, when we were rushing off to work, feed the dog, walk the dog, come home to the dog, do your evening routine. And sometimes, people, you still love your pet, but you forget.
Yes.
And people do love their pets, even if that is their situation, right? And yet when we can, and I think especially now, people are really appreciative of their pets and really have this loving experience that I think also may heighten people's relationship with their pets, having been through this with their pet by their side when you can't really leave the house. You do have an opportunity. And I really like what you shared about take that moment. It's almost like a meditation, like, like what does your pet feel like, like ingrain that in you,
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Exactly. And, it's known that pets help reduce our stress and help us relax. And it's just taking that bit of time to connect with them. And it does make a difference. It really does.
Yeah, that's really great. And so, how does Pet Rescue RX make the world a more compassionate place?
I feel that the idea of owning a business, which is somewhat of a general way of thinking about how much money am I going to make? How am I going to benefit from it? I don't look at business that way.
Mhm.
Didn't when I was practicing as a veterinarian. I always felt if you do good work for people and you work with people who may have financial issues and you take care of their pets, the reward's going to come. It may not be that day or that week, but if you run a business to just have it be for yourself, about yourself, and making money for yourself, I find that very short-sighted.
Mhm.
We spend so much time doing whatever work we do during the course of a day,
Mhm.
and you have to really enjoy it. There's more to any business, no matter what you do, than making money. If you're working 8 hours a day at a particular business, that's a big part of your lifespan that you're putting in there. And if you don't care for what you're doing, man, I just feel like you're wasting a lot of time. But I enjoy having a business that will and is giving back, and that is my reward. That's how I feel is how I want to live my life, and I live a simple life as a result of it. But to me, that's perfect. I just not a person of big needs. It's the end game that I kind of keep in my mind. How am I going to feel? Well, when that day comes and you have to say goodbye to this world, and you're going to think to yourself, you know what? I'm really happy with what I did. I find accomplished. I accomplished what I wanted to.
Well, that's beautiful. Hi, baby. I know. I know. Um,
They're always coming back for more.
no, he's coming back for more. Um, no, that's really beautiful, and I really appreciate doing your work for the sake of the what it's going to give back to this world, rather than because the other way it's just empty. I think that's really beautiful.
hmm Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think more and more people are appreciating that about businesses in general, and understanding that the amount of money some businesses make, um, and how that money could be used to help others. I think that whole needs to be reexamined, and that's one of the reasons I started Pet Rescue RX, is because I was looking at the other online pharmacies and seeing what they were making,
Yeah.
and saying to myself, well, this money should be going to the shelters and rescues that really could use the money, not just to the stockholders and to the investors. So Pet Rescue RX came out of that idea that, if people are going to buy online, let's make this a business that will support the groups that need the money.
Well, then it becomes a real social enterprise too. It's not just
hmm
an enterprise. It's a business with a cause
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
attached, and so it's clearly not just financially bottom line. That there's other reasons to be in business. It's really.
yeah. And there's such a pleasure that comes from that idea.
Mhm.
Um, when you are able to give back to your community and feel like this is worth all the effort that goes into it.
Yeah.
That's a tremendous feeling.
Right. So, is there anything that you've learned in this business that or even a favorite story that you want to share? Either or both.
Mm. Oh, gosh, a story. You know, coming into the starting Pet Rescue RX, it wasn't my training. I trained as a veterinarian, not as an owner of a pharmacy,
Mhm.
and not really knowing what I was getting into, and just being so extremely fortunate to have the people I'm working with here believe in it as much as I do. And they do things that I just am amazed.
Mhm.
They in some ways know more about the business than I do and what happens on a day-to-day basis and handle things. And they see what they see their accomplishment
Mhm.
of how this business has grown. It's not about me at all when it comes to this business growing. It's I try to support them and steer the ship, but they're doing it on a daily basis. And when you have that kind of support around you, it just keeps you motivated. And I just feel very blessed and very fortunate that I've got the people around me that I have.
Well, that's awesome. Do you have anything new that's coming down the pipeline that you would want to share?
Oh, let's see. We hope to be, we're going to be moving to a new location here shortly, as soon as we get the final approval, and which will help our business to expand.
Mhm.
And we do want to get into all 50 states. We're not licensed in all 50 states as a pharmacy right now. We're in 37 states.
Mhm.
And once we make our move, then we can go and apply for pharmacy licenses in the remaining states. We don't want to do that ahead of time, because then if we do it now before we move, then we have to just go back and redo a lot of paperwork. So we're just kind of putting all that on hold. But that'll be really nice when we can serve the entire country. That would be a great accomplishment for us. And let's see. As I was saying earlier, our growth, I'm very patient in regards to our growth. And I want our customers to be happy. And I want the rescues and the shelters to, begin to see larger and larger donations as we continue to grow. And that's our future. There's how's the best way to say it? I'm not one to make long-term plans for things. I'm more of trying to appreciate the day and what it's given me,
Mhm.
and certainly think about the future, but not get so caught up in the future that you miss out on the moment and where you're at and appreciating it, because the future will be here when it gets here.
That's true. There's no time like the present, right?
Nope.
For many reasons. That's great. So, where can people find out more about Pet Rescue RX?
Yeah, the best thing to do is just go to our website, petrescuerx.com, and as they get on there, if they're used to doing really any online shopping, they'll see you go in, you select the product that you like. Certainly, if we're dealing with a prescription medication, you'll need to provide some additional information. And basically, what will happen is after an order is completed, our pharmacist will contact your veterinarian's office and get approval for the medication, make sure everything's correct on the order and on the prescription. And if we get the approval through the veterinarian, usually it takes us no more than a day or two to get the product shipped out once we get approval. And if anybody goes to our website and they have any questions, they can give us a call at 855-307-7940. And we're on the East Coast, so kind of keep that in the back of your mind if you're in California or someplace that there's going to be a little bit of a time difference. But we're more than happy to walk you through the process, help you complete your order. If you have any questions for our pharmacist or anything like that, or even myself, I talk with our customers all the time about different questions that they may have regarding their pets, and I'm more than happy to do that as well. So it's
I think it's so great that there's a veterinarian behind this too. That I think that's really key. I think it's
yeah,
really
I think it makes a difference. I really do. It does, because we'll have customers, ask questions, and I tell Ellie and Kathy and Cheryl, and Nicole, if you get emails or phone calls from folks and you're not sure on how to answer it, send it over to me, and I'll get back with them when it comes to the medical questions and things like that, and affects, they just questions people may have.
That's great. Well, I can vouch for your service, because as soon as I met Jody Ross, who works with your company a few months ago, and I learned about it, I said, wait, this is a no-brainer for me. There was no reason for me to drive to the vet or use another company at that point. I was hooked. I was going to try it anyway because I met Jody.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized exactly what you were doing, and that proceeds were going to rescue groups and to shelters, and it was easy. It was, your website works great. And like one time I had a question, your customer service got back to me right away. They're really helpful. So it's just been a really easy process, especially, I'm used to buying, shopping online. So it was good and easy. So I've been a very happy customer, and I hope more people learn about you and utilize your service, and this way you can give back to more shelters.
Yeah, we appreciate you being a customer, Dan. We really do. Everyone's important to us, and our feeling is that if they're happy, if you're happy, you may tell one or two other people, and we may gain a few more customers as a result of that, and that's just how it goes.
It's a word of mouth thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, great. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Buckley. Before we go, I do have a few announcements, and then we'll say our final goodbye. So, for those of you who have not yet joined our Animal Magic Films community, you please do go visit us at animalmagicfilms.com, where you can learn about upcoming films that we have, news, and all sorts of good stuff like that. If you are not watching this in our Facebook group, please join our Facebook group, The Science and Magic of the Human-Animal Bond. If you are on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Animal Magic Films. And lastly, if you have a human-animal bond story that you would like for us to either include as a story on our website or potentially be considered to participate in this interview series, you can email me directly at diane@animalmagicfilms.com. So there's that information. Again, we've been visiting with Dr. Glenn Buckley of Pet Rescue RX, and this is where you can find out more information and place an order. And it's not just prescriptions. I mean, all my dog supplements. You can get a lot of other things that aren't just prescription at Pet Rescue RX. So, Dr. Buckley, thank you so much again for spending time with us. I know you're busy, and thank you to everybody who's out there that spent some time or will watch this interview. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you back here next week at 2:00 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks, Dr. Buckley.
Thank you, Diane. It's been wonderful.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
You too.